Hello, I'm Travis Darrow from Riverstone Outfitters. Today I'm going to be showing you how to tie one of the most universally best known flies in the world. Today I'm going to be showing you how to tie the double bunny streamer. Now traditionally a double bunny streamer will have red eyes on it. Unfortunately I've become a little hard on times right now and I can't afford googly eyes. But this fly, even without the eyes, is one of the most effective flies for just about every game fish in the world. The double bunny is based upon the super barracuda fly, which is big fish eat little fish. That's a given. So if you throw a big fish out on a fly, the only thing you're going to catch are big fish. This is the best fly you can tie for catching big fish. And that's strongly believed by trout fishermen, fly fishermen everywhere. The double bunny can be tied in a multitude of colors. Today I'm going to be showing you how to tie a basic gray double bunny like this, but it can also be tied in big variations such as this. This is a big variation I use for tiger muskie in New Mexico because we have big goldfish in the lakes, and that's why we have tiger muskie in the lakes, is to eat the goldfish. So this variation is perfect for tiger muskie. But back to this variation, this is the best one for trout, bass, anything. Different colors. If you're in an area where you have a lot of baby trout and you're fishing for pike, tie an olive color on top with a tan on the bottom. That'll look just like a baby trout. Match the colors for your area. That's all I can tell you to do. But these flies are great for just about anything. So to start off, you're going to need your basic vise. I'm using a size 4 Timeco hook, streamer hook. Make sure you have rabbit strips. I use the orange for the tiger muskie pattern, but since today I'm going to be using the gray to show you how to tie the basic gray double bunny. Black is a great color for all fish. Nobody knows why, but fish love the black color. But today we're going to be using rabbit strips. Wire, I just use whatever wire I can find. If you have a paper clip, wrap it around. I'll show you, we'll explain that in just a moment. But all of this works great. Other than that, I think that's all the material you're going to need, other than, of course, your thread and bobbin. That way you can tie. Today I'm going to be using a brown, but you can use just about any color you have. A lot of people like to use just red because since you're only tying in one spot, it makes the eye for you and you don't have to buy googly eyes. I'm just going to use brown for today. And okay, let's get started on tying the fly. Okay, so to tie this proper, I'm going to be using my size 4 hook. Don't put it onto your vise yet. You're going to need this. See this though? Size 4 streamer hook. Basic hook, got this little hooks on there to help tie on your material. Now, first thing you're going to want to do is get your rabbit hackle. Take your rabbit hackle. I'm going to use, oh dear, I'm going to use this strip. Put the rest of it away. Don't make messes. Always clean up after yourself. It makes life so much easier for your girlfriend, your wife, whoever it is that you're with, parents. But take what you want to do. Just for, usually I would lay the hook down on the table, but just to show you guys how to do this proper, I am going to put the hook onto the vise. I'll be taking it out here in just a moment. But take your hackle. Make sure you've got it lined up to where whatever direction the grain of the hair is going, it's going with the hook, and measure it out to about, oh, say an inch or so past where the hook ends. So take it from there, and then push the scissors through so you don't cut any excess, and then cut. So now what I've got is I've got one rabbit hackle that's that long on the hook. Okay? Now what you're going to do is you're just going to cut a second piece that's just as long as this one. That way you're universal and you look like you're an actual fish. Well, I hope you don't look like a fish, but your fly looks like a fish. So get it measured out to where you need it. I've got mine measured now. Remember, push through and then cut it. It's always how I've ran it. It's always how I've been taught to. Okay, so now got hair all over my computer and such. Okay, so now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your hook off of your vise, leave it open, then it's easier for you to do later. Now, this part is tricky. and it took me quite a few tries to learn how to get this right. You're going to want your rabbit hackle. Obviously, you can tell how you have hair on one side, and then you've got the flat strip on the other. This flat strip, this first one, is going to go onto the hook like this. That way you have the double-sided. What you're going to want to do first is take both of your rabbit strips whenever you have the chance. Remember the grain. Make sure you have the grain set right. Cut your rabbit hackle into triangle tips. So I'm going to get this close to the camera so you can see. You're going to want both of your, let's see, can you guys see it? No? Okay. Alrighty, see how that makes the triangle kind of shape? Make sure you have that triangle, because that triangle, whenever you tie your hook, is going to make your life so much easier. Now, this double bunny is a very effective fly, like I keep saying. I can't emphasize that enough. So make sure you're gonna have to tie it a few times before you get it. So measure it out to where, hold your rabbit hackle up against where it's going to be on the hook. Okay? So I've got the tip, right, or that triangle I made in it, right by the eye. And now you're going to see that you're going to want, right there, you're going to want your hook to be through the rabbit hackle right there where I've got it bent. So what you want to do is you want to put a hole in it with the hook right there. So don't cut yourself, but gently put it through. Okay? So now what I've got is now the point where I end up putting my hook onto the vise. Okay, so this is out of the way. I'm just going to move it back for a moment. I don't want to be vicing on my hair and of my fly on. So my cement is starting to seep all over the place. I'm going to unplug it for now. I use hot glue for my cement. A lot of people, they have traditional cement. Use whatever you like. I like using hot glue. Always cheap, always affordable. My vise has this little spring so I can hold the tail down. I recommend getting a spring or any sort to help hold down fly material. Take your bobbin and give yourself a pretty good base. I don't know what it is about the base. I'm just a base freak. I believe you have to have a good base before you can do anything with anything. So give yourself a good base. Any access thread you had from the original tie, take, grab it, pop. Now what I've already forgotten to do, which is probably really bad of me, what you usually do for a big fly, such as this giant orange one, I don't know if you guys can see because I tied it quite well, in there's a whole bunch of wire. And that wire gives us weight. This is a fly that I can take and I can just cast out like a lure because it's that heavy. For purposes of using a lighter weight rod, you don't want to put wire, and that's why I didn't put wire on this one. But traditionally what you do is you take your wire, you would just pull it out, and then you would just wrap it around, use some pliers to get it crimped on there nice, and then that's where you would cement it. So for now, we're not going to put any wire on, of course. Now, take this part, take your triangle cut double bunny part, and simply tie it onto the hook. Tie it onto where you did the base, and you'll be all right. If you can, any of this excess hair, and there's always going to be excess hair, always. I don't care if you're a professional fly tyer for a living, you're always going to have excess hair coming off right there. So pull it back, tie it up a little bit, that way it goes back with the rest of the world. Okay, so see what you got there? Now you've got, see if I can turn it. No, I can't turn it. Okay, so what you've got here now is you've got your rabbit hackle tied straight with that. Now with your other strip that you cut, just so I emphasize it so much, always cut your triangle. The triangle is your friend, always your friend. Remember that. Anybody who's watching along, say it with me. The triangle is your friend when tying rabbit hackle. So what you're going to do here is you're going to tie it upside, or you're going to tie it regular with it. So just like it's going to go on, see how that lines up? The two flat parts of the rabbit hackle should be lining up together, because the flat part of your rabbit hackle should be facing up on your hook now. So it should be flat to where you can grab it, or to where it's flat to where they can line together. So put it right where you tied up the other one, that way you're aligned, and tie it down. Make sure you put enough thread. You don't want your fly going through the water one day and when a fish latch up to the backside instead of the hook, because they'll do that. They'll hit it from the tail sometimes and you'll hate your life. But if you don't tie it up with enough thread, guess what? You're going to lose your fish every time. So get it tied to where you have enough thread on it. It's good right there. Pull this part back to where it's over here. Alright, so now what you've got is, it should look just like that. That's where you want to be. That's golden right there. Now, this is where you're going to need cement, super glue, hot glue. I don't care what you use. Right now I'm plugging in my hot glue gun. I'm going to let it warm up. While I'm letting that hot glue gun warm up, I'm going to clean up a little bit and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how this double bunny works. Now when you're fishing with this double bunny, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cast, if you're fishing a river, this fly works great in river or lake, it doesn't really matter. But if you're fishing in a river, cast upstream to where it's just sitting flat in the water. And then as you start to feel drag on your line, strip it once. Whenever you start to feel drag from there, strip it. This will create the effect of a dying bait fish going through the water. If it's the spawning season and you're fishing for, say, brown trout, find where those trout are, and then you cast right into them, and you just jerk as fast as you can, because that right there makes you look like you're infringed on territory, and they will eat you every time to defend their territory, or because they're hungry. If you're fishing in a lake, I'm going to use tiger muskie for my example here. I like to use a double hand retrieve, cast out as far as you can, use both hands, and just yank on your fly line. So you've got your arm tucked under your shoulder, and you're just yanking on that fly line, so that way that fly is moving. No fish slows down to get eaten. And if you're just regularly stripping, guess what? You're not going to look realistic. You can still catch fish like that, don't get me wrong. But I like to do the double strip because it's more realistic. It's a great fly. I really do love it. If you want to put a lot of wire on it, take it, put a lot of wire, tie the fly, and then go cast it. I can catch fish casting with it all day. But all you want to do is go out and try it. That's all I can tell you. This fly will work great if you put the effort into it. And I promise you the results are going to be great. You're not going to catch as many fish as you do, say, using bait or worms or sandworm worms or pheasant tails or dry flies. You're not going to catch as many. That's a fact. Or you're not going to catch as many as when you use them. Using this fly, you are going to catch big fish consistently. Not as many fish, but big fish consistently. So it looks like my hot glue gun, or my cement as I'm going to call it for all you fly tires out there, looks like it's doing good. So what you're going to want to do is, and since I'm using hot glue, I got to do this fast, so I hope you guys will be able to keep up with me. But you have to take on the flat part of the rabbit hackle and run it along the hook shank. Make sure you don't get a whole lot of the hair. Make sure you get it a good amount of glue on there, because if it comes undone in the water, guess what? You're not going to catch any fish, and it's not going to work. Okay? Okay, now that you've got it tied, or now that you've got it glued down, squeeze the two flat parts of the rabbit hackle together. Touch them together. See that? Okay, I've got hot glue strands all over me. That's the bad part about using the hot glue. It's like you got spider webs running all around you. But squeeze them together. Get them all tipped together. Now I'm going to take my spring off of my hook. Okay, so see how this works now? That right there looks like a little baby smelt. That looks just like a good double bunny. That right there is my completed fly. A lot of people take and use the hot glue gun or your cement, whatever it is you're using. I recommend for anybody, especially if you're a younger guy and you're out here just learning how to do this on your own, go invest in a hot glue gun. Hot glue guns are cheap, they're inexpensive, or the glue is inexpensive. You can buy a 30-pack of glue for like $5 and the glue gun is like $30, or is like $15. For that much, guess what? And especially if you do like I do, I can take this fly right now, I can go to a fly shop and I can sell it to them for like $5. Double bunnies, streamers, big flies are worth a lot of money. Flies in general are worth a lot of money. That's why I started tying them myself. So I'm going to cover up a little bit more of the, tighten my vise a little bit. So I've got that tied there. Okay, so I don't know why I unplugged my hot glue gun. I'm going to need to use it one more time. Okay, So you've got it here, just like before, or with anybody else. If you don't have a whip finish kit, since I'm trying to do the poor man's budget, show you how you can tie flies without using it, I don't have a whip finish kit, so all I do is caught my bobbin. Good job. All right, make sure you have thread going through your bobbin still, because if you don't, it can be held and put back through if you don't have threaders. Put that out of the way. Now tie loops with your thread, and I seriously mean just tie loops. Just do a basic little like square knot bill, pardon me, and just tie your square knots. Okay, now that you've got your little square overhand knot, whatever the hell you want to call it, you've got it right here. You've got your access thread. I'm holding it up. Take your cement or your hot glue gun and just put a little bit on where your happy little knot is. And then take your access thread, whatever you have, and before that glue dries, wrap it around. Just keep wrapping it around. I like using hot glue, like I said, because of the cheap, but I believe that while it's in the water, it doesn't leave any odor. I mean, super glue, we all know how super glue smells. If you've ever used glue at all, you know how super glue smells. So, once it's got to the point that it's not unravel or where it won't stay hold because the glue's dried, cut off the excess thread, and then look at this. This here is a completed double bunny fly. Now, anybody who's a fly fisher knows that that right there looks like a really good, see, it's even got the split in the tail. This is a really good fly. This is probably one of the better flies I've tied for you guys here. So use this fly, tie googly eyes onto it if you want. Use red thread if you want for the eyes. I like using the googly eyes, I just don't have any with me, sorry guys. But this is a fantastic fly. So I hope this video has been educational for you guys. This is the first video I've done for you, so I hope that it wasn't too cheesy or too horrible. And I hope that this fly right here, if you tie it and you use it right, I hope you guys go out there and you do really good. I hope you all go out there and line the lunkers. Thanks for watching. I'm Travis Darrow from Riverstone Outfitters. I'll be posting more videos on how to tie flies, and I'll be posting fishing trips. So, thank you, subscribe to us, and thanks for watching. Bye.
Lazy yellow moon coming up tonight, shining through the trees. Crickets are singing in